Tauscher here, Slingshot Sport Wind Marketing Manager, and we're here at the AWSI booth for 2025, and I want to talk to you about our one-lock foil platform. This one-lock foil platform actually just won the most innovative product of the year last night, so we're very, very excited. Now, this platform we introduced last year here at the show AWSI, and 3 years leading up to that, we've been just focusing entirely on how do we get the system to work better than anything else on the market. Now, when you have screws, you have parasitic drag, and so our design theory going into this was how do we get rid of the screws, how do we eliminate drag completely, and also make the system as stiff as possible. So last year, we were just really focusing on the system to make it strong, beefy, high performance as possible, and we used some popular wings from our Phantasm line to move over into one lock. Now this year, we have the system, it works really well. We've just been putting all of our energy into designing new high performance front wings and tails, and so this year we've come out with our Flow series of wings. These are 11 aspect ratio. Our Glide series of wings are 9, so it's quite a bit more high aspect. With this front wing, what you get is just a lot more acceleration and projection. So if you're looking for high performance, really efficient glide, this is going to be a wonderful front wing for you. We also came out with new stabilizers. We have the new range called the Flare Stabilizer range. These are going to be more high aspect rear wings, and it is crazy what the difference of a stabilizer can do to your front wing. So if you have a Glide series of wings and you're looking for a little bit more maneuverability, I'd highly recommend grabbing a Flare. It'll really loosen it up, make it a little bit more spicy, have a bit more projection. And then if you're someone who wants to get into downwinding and really looking for high performance efficiency, the Flow series of wings is going to be perfect for you. So we're super excited to be back here in our second year of One Lock. Stay tuned and see what more exciting things we have coming out.
Hey guys, Fred Hope here from Slingshot Sports. We're going to talk about the new wings that we have for 2026. We've got the Alula version in the Slingwing NXT V2. And then we've got our Dacron version, the Slingwing V6. What you'll notice when riding these wings versus last year's wings is you're going to get a little bit more lift in the tack. We really worked for a long time to make sure that the profile stays stable when you're in higher winds and that the wingtips don't bleed off too much power when you're loaded up. And so when going through the tack, instead of having that push down that you feel in some wings, you're going to get just about 1 to 2 degrees of lift going through the tack. It's important because it allows you to still pierce through the wind where you don't have so much lift that it pulls you downwind, but you're also not getting batted down in the higher winds when you start tacking. So that's a nice addition. The wings are obviously pretty flat compared to other ones on the market. There's a lot less dihedral, and what that does is it really allows the wing to free fly super stable, right? That's not going to be swinging side to side and oscillating. The downside of that generally is that when you make them flatter, the wingtip gets closer to the water. So what we did is we bumped out the strut overall, and then we have a tall handle. So when I'm holding it here, it's still keeping the wingtip pretty far away from the water, allowing you to still get the wing more vertical and pump, but when you're free flying, have that stability of a flatter wing. When we're talking about the materials difference of the V6 versus the NXT, is obviously Alula. In the NXT, we also have a lighter canopy material on the trailing edge versus the V6. On the V6, we wanted to make sure that the canopy material is incredibly durable, right, and stress resistant. The rider on this one is generally not as advanced or not as willing to have the lightest airframe as they can. So they want that durability. That's the most important. You fall on it accidentally, you're not going to stretch it out. So we got that code 95P on the trailing edge, and we really worked for a long time, like I said, to hold that profile shape in high winds or low winds. So you'll see that the canopy cuts and the panel layout is quite a bit different from last year. That really keeps the load frame from holding its shape and preventing stretch over time. We also bumped up the windows a little bit bigger so that you can see more around you with that premium TPU window that we have in there that's really anti-stretch. And then also the thing that we had in the V5 as well is that separate inflation of the strut versus leading edge, so you can really tailor how much PSI you want in the leading edge. I think of it as like a suspension on a mountain bike. You pump up your shocks harder. It's a rougher ride, but you get more power per pedal, right? So same thing on the wing. If you're in gusty conditions, you can soften up the leading edge. If you're in lighter or more consistent conditions, you tighten it up, and that's going to make your pump a little bit more efficient. For the strut, I always suggest keeping it at 10 PSI just so you have a stable frame there to hold on to. To minimize weight, we shrunk down the end of the strut. You can see there, it's a lot less material. And then we also took out the extra clip, so there's no more two-handle option. It's just boom. We truly believe in it. So all those things kind of lead up to a wing that's very stable to fly in both the NXT and the V6. It's easy to put it where you want it to be. It's easy to tack. It's easy to get that power out of it. It's easy for a large range of riders to keep the wing from hitting the water, which is what we all try not to do. So if you're excited about it, check it out. My personal favorite is the 3.5 in the NXT, but yeah, give it a go.